Hello, everyone, on Go to Sub. Description: In 1973, a silk version of 5,000 words of Lao Tzu was unearthed at the Muanghui Han tomb in Changsha, Hunan Province. There are two versions, A and B. Version A is earlier than version B. This version is also not called Tao Te Ching and Te Ching respectively. The order is Te Ching first, Tao Te Ching last. Version A was copied around BC 202. The text of this book adopts version A of 5,000 words of Lao Tzu. The content of this version is quite different from the popular version. The reason is that many places in the popular version have been doctored or wrongly transcribed. Tao is the head rope of the Tao Te Ching. If you lift the head rope, the meshes spread open. After understanding the Tao Te Ching is so easy to understand. The so-called Tao in Tao Te Ching is the Great Holy Spirit. He is the first driving force of the universe, and sometimes refers to the rules made for the universe after the creation of the universe by the Great Holy Spirit, which can also be called the operating system of the universe. 1. Tao can be explained, but the Tao that can be explained is not the absolute Tao. The name of Tao can also be named, but the name that can be named is not an absolute name. The nameless is the origin of all things. The named is the mother of all things. Therefore, oftentimes you are without passion in order to see the secret of Tao. Oftentimes you are with passion in order to see its border. These two are the same. Tao is mysterious, it is the root of the universe. 2. Everyone knows that the beauty is beautiful, not beautiful. Everyone knows that the goodness is good, not good. Therefore, being and non-being are interdependent. Difficult and easy are opposites. Long and short are relative. High and low interdepend in position. Sounds are made and sounds are heard, they are cause and effect. The first and next are ordered by time. Therefore, the sage manages with an action and educates without words. All things arise naturally and he is not the founder. He does something, but does not at his own inclinations. Be successful without being selfish. Just because he does not claim credit, his work will not be lost. 3. If the king does not favor the wise, the man will not compete for such fame. He does not make rare goods expensive, and the man will not be thieves. If he does not express his desires, the man will not be confused. Therefore, when the sages govern the world, they want to make the man calm, to satisfy the man's food, to weaken the man's will to compare about wealth, and to strengthen the man's bodies. Always make the man calm and have no desires, so that man dare not sin, and do not want to sin. If they just don't dare to do it, and don't do it, then the country will be over. 4. Tao is empty, yet the use of it may not be exhausted. O deep! Like the Lord of all things. Remove one's own sharpness, reduce one's desire. Reconcile the light of one's own virtues to not be bright. Lower yourself to the same place as the dust. O secret! It seems to be everywhere. I don't know whose son it is, it seems to be before God. 5. Universe has no preference, treats all things like weeds, and allows all things to grow naturally. The sage has no preference, treats the people like weeds, and lets the man grow by themselves. Isn't the universe like a wind box? There is space, but it is not completely empty, and the wind blows constantly when working. There are a lot of suggestions and options, instead confuse you. Rather, therefore, hold to the core. 6. Empty your mind, like an empty valley, thinking nothing like a dead man, this is the great Tao. Tao is endless, and it serves you with ease. 7. The universe is immortal. The reason why the universe can last is because it does not exist for itself, so it exists forever. Therefore, the sage benefits others in everything at first, but can win love. Instead of thinking about his own safety, he can survive. Isn't this just because he is selfless, but able to achieve himself? 8. The highest good is like water. Water benefits all things and is peace. It always stays in low-lying places that people don't want to go to. This kind of behavior is closest to Tao. The sage is always in his proper place. His thoughts are as calm and profound as a deep pool. He is loving and trustworthy, and he manages according to objective laws. It is because he does not contend that he is without reproach. 9. You already have a lot and want more, but it is easy to lose what you already have. It is better to stop as soon as possible. Weapons that are already very sharp, but also beaten to make them sharper, the sharpness cannot be maintained for a long time. When your house is full of gold and jade, you won't be able to have them safely. To be proud with wealth and honor, it is to sow your fallen seeds. It's smartest to retire when your work is done. 10. Can your soul be one with your body, one is Tao, and not separate? Can you gather chi to reach total relaxation, like a newborn baby? Can you polish the mirror and check your face for dirt? Can you rule without trickery to love the man and manage the country? Can you be modest and discreet in making an argument? Can you understand Tao without trickery? Tao breeds all, feeds all, breeds but does not possess, feeds but does not dominate all. This is the moral of an action. 11. 30 spokes surround the hub of the car. Due to the not being of the spokes, the people have a car to ride. Mold clay into a vessel. From its not being, the man have a pottery that can be used. Cut out doors and windows in the wall. From their not being, the man have houses to live in. Therefore, being can be used by man, and it can only be realized by the void of not being. 12. When the sun shines into the eyes will see colors. The musical notes make one deaf. The flavors dull the taste of people. Hunting on horseback drives a man crazy. Gold and jade treasures make people's hearts float. Therefore, the sage only pursues food and clothing to survive, not indulgence. Abandon excessive material enjoyment. Food and clothing are enough. 13. Favor and disgrace cause one dismay. You love life as seriously as you take a disaster. What does it mean? Favor and disgrace cause one dismay. To be favored is humble and not honorable. You are horrified when you are favored, and you are horrified when you lose it. What does it mean? You love life as seriously as you take a disaster. We have fears because we have a self. When we do not regard that self as self, what have we to fear? Therefore, those who value themselves as the world can take care of the world. Those who cherish themselves as the world can take care of the world. 14. Tao, you can't see it, it's called invisible. You can't hear it, it's called silence. You can't touch it, it's called intangible. These three properties cannot be studied separately, so they are called the One. For the One, we do not know how long it has been in the past, nor whether it will disappear in the future. We cannot reason about it by convention, nor can we name it, and return it to not being. It has no shape, no substance, we call it invisible. We follow it without seeing its end, and we face it without seeing its beginning. Using the present Tao to control the present concrete things, can infer the state of the past and beginning, which is called the outline of Tao. 15. In the past, those kings who were good at Tao were subtle and penetrating, and others could not understand them, so they could only describe him as follows. He is careful, as if stepping on water across the river in winter. He is on guard, as if against the attack of a neighboring country. He is very solemn, as if he is going to be a guest. He moves freely, as if ice is slowly melting. He is kind, like raw material. He is tolerant, like turbid water. He is open-minded, like a deep valley. Like muddy water, it settles and slowly becomes clear. Clear water, disturb it, and become muddy water again. Those who keep Tao will not be complacent. Only those who are not complacent can keep making new achievements. 16. To attain no thoughts in your mind, always keep inner peace. All things are alive. It seems to me that it's all back to the root. All things are splendid, each returning to its root repeatedly. Returning to its root is called inner peace. Inner peace is called return to one's destiny. Returning to destiny is called normal. Know what is normal is called wisdom. If you don't know what is normal and act rashly, you will often get into trouble. He who knows what is normal can master everything. He who masters all will be just. He who is just and can be king, he is the king and rules like the universe. He who knows the universe is Tao. He can last because he conforms to Tao. He will never be endangered for the rest of his life. 17. The best ruler, the man just know he exists. The second ruler, the man are close to and praise him. The third ruler whom the man fear. The last ruler, the man despised him. The ruler is not credible, the man do not believe him. How laid back the best rulers are. He rarely issues orders, and when things are done successfully, the man say, "That's how we are." 18. When Tao is abandoned, love begins to be admired. When wisdom is gone, hypocrisy begins to be admired. When family conflicts arise, love of their kin begin to be admired. When the country is in chaos, loyal ministers begin to be admired. 19. Abandon the so-called sages and wisdom, the man can reap greater benefits. Abandon the so-called love, the man can recover love of their kin. Abandon the cheating to make huge profits, and the thieves disappear naturally. These three are all clever things. Not enough to rule the world. So let the man's thinking adapt. Keep the pure and simple nature, reduce selfish thoughts, abandon the knowledge of the sages, there is no more worry. 20. Humility and arrogance, how far apart? Beauty and ugliness, how far apart? What a man fear, it also fears man. Can't see the limit. There is no end to it. The crowd was elated, as if going to a feast, as if they were on stage in spring. And I was alone and quiet, indifferent. Like a baby who doesn't giggle yet. Disappointed. There seems to be nowhere to turn. Everyone has something left, but I seem to have nothing. I really have a fool's mind, chaotic. Normal man can see clearly, but I seem to be confused. Normal man can distinguish and understand, but I am silent. My chaotic state is as deep and wide as the ocean. My dazed state seems to have no end. Everyone has their own use. I am the only one who is stubborn and rude. The only difference between me and others is that I have obtained Tao. 21. Te is so grand, it is determined by the Tao. Tao has no clear fixed entity. It is so dazed, yet there are images in it. It's so trance-like, but there's real in it. It is such a profound darkness, yet there is truth in it. Its state is so real, because it bases an unchanging law. From today to ancient times, its name can never be repealed. According to it, we can see the beginning of all things. How can I know how everything begins? Known from Tao. 22. If you want to make a fire, you have to lie on the ground and blow the wind, not stand. Those who only have themselves and their thoughts cannot stand out. Only think that you are right, but not smart. You want the fruit but cut down the tree, you will not get the fruit. Those who think they are worthy cannot become leaders. So, for the Tao, this is traveling without food, and it can travel lightly but not far. Because these are disgusting, the man with Tao never do it. 23. Then to save oneself, correct the bending, it will straighten. There are low-lying areas to fill with water. Break the old and there will be new. Give up something to gain more. Asking too much can lead to confusion. Therefore, the sage takes the Tao as the only root and the criterion for all things. If you are not stubborn, you can understand the truth. Don't boast, but get credit for it, not arrogant, so it can last. Just because he does not fight with others, no one can fight with him. As the old saying goes, bend to preserve oneself, how could it be a lie? It can really be achieved. 24. Reducing government intervention is in line with objective laws. A gust of wind cannot blow for a morning, it's not raining for a day. Who made it this way? The madness of nature cannot last long, what about man? Therefore, those who follow the Tao behave in the same way as Tao, those who obey Te behave in accord with Te, those who lose Tao act the same as losing Tao. Tao is also willing to help him who is consistent with Te's actions. Those who lost Tao, Tao also gave up on him. 25. There is something that arises naturally, that existed before the universe. You cannot hear its voice, nor see its form, it's deep and empty, it is independent, and it does not change, it can be the root of all things. I don't know its name, so I call it Tao, and reluctantly give it a name the Great. It is vast, it stretches far away, it returns to its beginning. Tao is great, the heaven is great, the earth is great, the king is also great. There are the great four in the universe, and the king is one of them. Man models himself after the earth models itself after heaven, the heaven models itself after Tao, Tao models itself after nature. 26. Steady is the root of ease, silence is the master of impatience. Therefore, the gentleman travels long distances and does not give up luggage. Although there are many temptations, he can handle them safely. Why does the king of a great country still despise the people? Frivolity loses its roots, and patience loses leadership. 27. A good runner leaves no track. A good speech speaks no faults. A man who is good at math use of no counters. A man who is good at closing does not need a bolt or a stick, so others cannot open it. A person who is good at binding does not use ropes, so others cannot untie it. The sage is good at making the best use of people's talents, so no one is left out, everything is used, there is no waste. This is called the hidden wisdom. Therefore, if a man is good at helping, he is a teacher to others, and if he is not good at helping others, he provides money. If he doesn't honor his teacher and love those who provide resources, although such a man seems smart, he is actually very confused. This is the mystery of life. 28. Knowing what it means to be strong, but keeping the position of softness, willing to be the stream of the world, it means the source of the ocean. Willing to be the source of the world, long-term Te will not be strong. Te does not appear strong, but returns to Tao, who is as soft as a baby. Knowing what is true, but willing to keep the void, become the valley of the world, it means the source of the ocean. If you are willing to be the valley of the world, the permanent Te is enough, and you can return to the simple Tao. Knowing what glory is, but keeping a low status, willing to be the standard of the world. If you are willing to be the standard of the world, you will never go wrong with Te. Permanent Te will not go wrong and return to the original state of universe. Normal people do various livelihoods in life, but he was assigned by sage, that is, officials. A truly complete system does not divide all things. 29. If you want to govern the world through control, I don't think you will gain anything. The world can be said to be an artifact that cannot be governed by control. The strong king will fail, and the strong controller will lose it. Some men are keen on walk in front, some are keen on follow, some are gentle, some are cold, some are strong-minded, some are weak, some are good at producing, some are good at destroying. So the sage will get rid of his excessive, indulgent, and intemperate behavior. 30. Use the Tao to help the king, and will not use force to conquer the world, because bad results can easily fall on oneself. Wherever the army went, thorns grew. Those who follow the Tao use force only to solve the crisis, and stop when they achieve their goals, and they are not stubborn. Do not be proud of your achievement, don't think you're amazing when you achieve your goals, don't boast about yourself when you achieve your goals, you achieve your goal only because you have to do it, this is to achieve the goal without being arrogant. Too strong and easy to get tired, this is called not conforming to the Tao, and he will perish early. 31. Weapons are ominous things, and the man hate them, so the man with Tao. Don't use them. A noble's house is honored on the left, and when the man go to war, the right is honored. Weapons are not something used by nobles. Weapon, this ominous thing, had to use it. It's best to take it lightly, and don't be too proud of your victory. If you are self-righteous, it means that you like to kill. Anyone who likes to kill will never succeed in the world. Celebrations are honored on the left, funerals are honored on the right. The lower-ranking generals are on the left, and the higher-ranking generals are on the right. This means that wars are to be dealt with as funerals. Many people are killed in war, so join in with grief. Even if you win a battle, you should treat the dead with a funeral. 32. Tao is eternal, nameless and simple, and although it is small, nothing can surpass it. If the king can govern the world according to the Tao, the man will naturally follow him. All people live in harmony, and the world is at peace. Without giving any orders to the people, they can adjust themselves automatically. Along with the emergence of social institutions, laws also appeared accordingly. As for the law, the king should also know where their limits are, that is, meet the requirements of Tao, so that there is no danger. It is like saying that for the world it is the source, just as the valley is the source of the sea. 33. Knowing others is called sanity, knowing himself is called wisdom. Those who can overcome others are powerful, and those who can restrain themselves are considered strong. Those who know contentment are rich. A persistent man is ambitious. Always stick to the root, which is the Tao. He will be able to endure for a long time. Those who are not forgotten even after death are truly longevity. 34. Tao is widely popular, and it is everywhere. Done a career without fame. All things belong to but not be kings, it can be called, lo. All things belong to but not be kings, it can be called, great. It is because he does not think he is great that he can achieve its greatness. 35. If you master the great Tao, then all the people in the world will come to follow. Everyone acts according to the Tao, and they go hand in hand without harming each other, so they can be peaceful. There are music and food here to keep passers-by stop. Tao is published, it seems bland, you can't see it, you can't hear it, but you can't use it up. 36. If you want to shrink it, you must first expand it. If you want to weaken it, you must first strengthen it. If you want to abolish it, you must first exalt it. If you want to take it, you must first give it. That's called a trick. The weak overcome the strong. Fish cannot survive without water. The heavy weapons of the state cannot be shown to others. 37. The Tao is eternal, and does not take force to take effect. If the king can abide by the laws of Tao, all peoples will develop and change in their own way. At the beginning, I will enrich him with Tao. The king was not humiliated by this. If king takes this as the root, the world will automatically correct itself.